Rose lived in a garden. She was very beautiful. Her petals were red. She was the prettiest flower. Rose knew she was beautiful. She was proud. She often boasted,
I am the best.
All the other flowers were quite small. In the garden, many flowers grew. It was a magical place where every flower had its own unique charm and personality. The garden was a symphony of colors and fragrances, a true paradise for anyone who loved nature. There were lilies and daisies. The lilies stood tall and elegant, their white petals glowing in the sunlight. The daisies, with their cheerful yellow centers, brought a sense of joy and happiness to the garden. They were like little suns, always brightening up the day. There were tulips and violets. The tulips, with their vibrant colors, were the stars of the garden. They came in shades of red, yellow, pink, and purple, each one more beautiful than the last. The violets, though smaller, were equally enchanting. Their deep purple hues added a touch of mystery and elegance to the garden. They were all beautiful in their way. The flowers were friends. They would spend their days chatting and laughing, sharing stories about the bees and butterflies that visited them. They supported each other, always ready to lend a petal when one of them needed help. They loved to sway in the breeze. They enjoyed the sunshine. The gentle wind would make them dance, and the warm rays of the sun would make them feel alive. It was a simple life, but it was a happy one. They found joy in the little things, like the sound of a bird singing or the sight of a rainbow after a rain shower. Rose did not want to play. She stood apart from the other flowers, her red petals glowing with an inner fire. She was beautiful, and she knew it. But her beauty made her feel different, and she didn't know how to fit in with the other flowers. She thought she was too good. She believed that her beauty set her apart, made her special. She didn't realize that the other flowers admired her and wanted to be her friend. They saw her as a part of their garden family, but she saw herself as an outsider. The other flowers tried to include her. They would call out to her, inviting her to join their games and conversations. But Rose would always decline, thinking that she didn't need anyone else. She was content to stand alone, basking in her own beauty. But as time went on, Rose began to feel lonely. She watched the other flowers laughing and having fun, and she realized that she was missing out. She wanted to be a part of their world, but she didn't know how to reach out. The other flowers noticed her loneliness. They decided to help her. They knew that Rose was proud, but they also knew that she had a kind heart. They came up with a plan to show her that she was not alone, that she was a part of their garden family. They organized a surprise for her. They spent days planning and preparing, making sure that everything was perfect. They wanted to show Rose how much they cared about her, and how much they wanted her to be a part of their lives. When the day finally came, the flowers gathered around Rose. They presented her with a beautiful bouquet, made up of all the different flowers in the garden. It was a symbol of their friendship, a reminder that they were all in this together. Rose was touched. She realized that she had been wrong. She was not alone, and she was not too good for the other flowers. She was a part of their family, and they loved her just the way she was. From that day on, Rose joined the other flowers. She played with them, laughed with them, and shared her stories. She found joy in their company, and she realized that true beauty comes from the heart. The garden was more beautiful than ever, filled with love and friendship. The garden was in full bloom. It was a place of happiness and harmony, where every flower was valued and loved. The flowers had learned that they were stronger together, and that their differences made them special. They were a garden of friends, and they would always be there for each other. One day, Rose was boasting.
I am the prettiest. Look at my petals, so red and lovely.
She tossed her head. The other flowers were quiet. They were tired of her boasting.
It's true, I am the best.
The sun grew hotter. The wind blew fiercely. It was a day unlike any other in the garden. The usual gentle breeze had turned into a gusty wind, and the sun, which usually provided warmth and comfort, now seemed to scorch everything in its path. The garden, once a place of tranquility, was now a scene of chaos. Dark clouds filled the sky. The little flowers worried. The storm was coming. They needed rain, but the clouds were ominous, casting long shadows over the garden. The flowers, which had been eagerly awaiting the rain to quench their thirst, now trembled with fear. They knew that the storm could bring much-needed water, but it could also bring destruction. The balance of nature seemed to be tipping. and the flowers felt helpless. The wind could hurt them. What could they do? They felt afraid. The once gentle wind was now a force to be reckoned with, bending the delicate stems of the flowers and threatening to uproot them. The flowers whispered among themselves, trying to find solace in each other's presence. They had faced many challenges before, but this storm felt different. It felt more powerful, more relentless. The fear in the garden was palpable.
I am strong. The rose, standing tall and proud, spoke with a voice that resonated through the garden. It had faced many storms before and had always emerged stronger. The rose's confidence was a beacon of hope for the other flowers. It reminded them that they too had strength within them, even if they didn't always feel it. I do not fear the wind. The rose continued, swaying gracefully in the fierce wind. Its petals fluttered, but it stood firm. The other flowers watched in awe, drawing courage from the rose's bravery. They began to realize that while the storm was powerful, so were they. They had roots that ran deep, and together they could withstand the storm. The garden, once filled with fear, now buzzed with a renewed sense of determination. The flowers braced themselves, ready to face whatever the storm would bring.
The storm came. Rain poured from the sky. The wind howled. The little flowers huddled together. They held on to each other. Rose stood alone. The wind buffeted her. Her stem bent low.
Help me!
Rose felt scared. She was being tossed about. The other flowers heard Rose. They saw she was in trouble.
We must help her, even though she is boastful.
Let's shield her from the wind.
They all agreed. The flowers spread their petals. They formed a circle around Rose. The flowers held strong together. They protected Rose from the wind. Rose was safe inside the circle. She felt the wind lessen. The rain stopped. The sun peeked out. The storm was over. Rose was grateful. The little flowers had saved her. Rose felt ashamed. She had been so proud. She had been unkind. The other flowers had helped her. They had been brave and kind.
Thank you. I am sorry for boasting.
The other flowers smiled. They were happy Rose had learned her lesson. From that day on, Rose changed. She was no longer the same boastful flower that she once was. Her transformation was remarkable and touched the hearts of everyone in the garden. She was no longer boastful. Instead, she became a symbol of humility and grace. Rose realized that her previous attitude had distanced her from the other flowers, and she was determined to make amends. She was kind and helpful. Rose went out of her way to assist the other flowers, whether it was by sharing her nutrients or offering a comforting word. Her actions spoke louder than words, and soon the entire garden noticed the change in her demeanor. She played with the other flowers. Rose joined in their games and laughter, something she had never done before. She found joy in their company and realized that being part of a community was far more rewarding than standing apart. Rose learned that being kind was important. She understood that kindness was a strength, not a weakness. It brought her closer to the other flowers and made her feel more fulfilled than her previous pride ever had. It was better than being proud. Rose felt a deep sense of contentment and happiness that she had never experienced before. She realized that true happiness came from within and from the connections she made with others. The garden was a happy place. The atmosphere was filled with joy and laughter, and the flowers thrived in this positive environment. Rose's transformation had a ripple effect, inspiring others to be kind and supportive. All the flowers were friends. They shared a bond that was strengthened by mutual respect and kindness. The garden became a symbol of unity and harmony, a place where every flower felt valued and loved. Rose often reflected on her journey. She remembered the days when she was proud and boastful, and she was grateful for the lessons she had learned. She knew that her transformation had made her a better flower and had enriched her life in countless ways. The garden continued to flourish. The flowers bloomed more beautifully than ever, and the air was filled with their sweet fragrance. It was a testament to the power of kindness and the positive impact it had on everyone. Rose shared her story with new flowers. She wanted them to understand the importance of kindness and humility. Her story became a source of inspiration, reminding everyone that it was never too late to change and make a positive difference. As the sun set over the garden, the flowers basked in the golden light, feeling a sense of peace and contentment. They knew that they were part of something special, a community built on love and kindness. Rose looked up at the sky, her heart filled with gratitude. She was thankful for the journey she had been on and for the friends she had made along the way. She knew that she would continue to grow and thrive, surrounded by the love and support of her fellow flowers. A rainbow appeared in the sky, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. The flowers looked up in awe, feeling a renewed sense of purpose and joy. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could overcome any challenge and continue to flourish. As night fell, the garden glowed softly under the moonlight. The flowers settled in for the night, feeling safe and loved. They knew that the bonds they had formed would last a lifetime, and they were grateful for the beautiful community they had created. Rose closed her eyes, feeling a deep sense of peace. She was surrounded by friends who loved her for who she was, and she knew that she had found her true home. The garden was not just a place, it was a family, and Rose was proud to be a part of it. Rose still loved her beautiful petals, but she knew that true beauty came from within. It came from being a good friend. The flowers bloomed together. They shared the sunshine and the rain. They were a reminder that even the smallest can be the strongest. Rose learned that humility is important. It means being kind and humble. It means valuing friendship above all else. It makes us better flowers. And so the garden blossomed with love and laughter. The end.